lots of news, including the story of the day surrounding Artemi Panarin, from where we bring in NHL Network insider Elliot Friedman. Elliot, we don't have a ton of information on Artemi Panarin outside of the allegations and that he is going to take a leave of absence from the New York Rangers. Based on what we do know, what do you make of the situation going on around Panarin?
Well, Jackie, I'm going to be really careful because there's a lot of difficult things to kind of read here, and part of it obviously being that a lot of the story is happening half a world away. I think the other thing to point out here is that Artemi Panarin has the backing of the New York Rangers. The statement was pretty emphatic. It wasn't, we're going to look into this and see what happens. Which obviously is going to happen, but the Rangers were pretty emphatic in their defense of him and his character. There are starting to be some reports out of Russia. Igor Aronko, who's a longtime Russian journalist who now works for the KHL team, he just tweeted before we did this that a number of the players on that particular team with Panarin are denying that incident occurred. I mean, it's going to be pretty obvious here that the accusation is so serious that that the NHL itself is going to be investigating into it, and we'll see where this goes. But they're going to take it seriously. They're going to investigate it. But some of the Russian reporters right now are coming out with stories that say that they're not finding any corroboration of what Panarin has been accused of.
And Elliot, just as a follow-up to that, the fact that the Rangers were so emphatic in their, kind of getting behind their player, does that tell you that maybe they've tried to do some research as well into this? I mean, they've got connections over in Russia, so they must have a way to try to find information out as well. Does it give you any indication that, they have some, that they've been doing the digging behind the scenes as well?
I'm sure, EJ, everybody is using their contacts. Everybody is trying to go out and figure out what they can find out from all of this. But I would say yes. I would say the answer would be definitely yes. This story is obviously so much bigger than hockey. There's politics involved. It's it's the other side of the world. It's a very different way of life and politics that we're used to in North America. I've always, been told, when you're dealing with Russia, don't try to put North American solutions or North American mores as part of it. It's a very different part of the world than what we're used to. So you kind of have to sit back and wait and see how things unfold. And it's pretty obvious, though, that everybody here, NHL side, will be involved in trying to figure out every bit of information that they can.
Elliot, bringing it back into the National Hockey League, as far as we just spoke on some unknowns, the knowns that we do know. Looking at the league this year, Nashville Predators look like a mess. What are you making of these guys? What are they going to be doing here?
Michael, they're looking around, and I think they might wait a little bit longer just to make sure that they see exactly what happens and where this goes. But I think what you are going to see is you are going to see them absolutely test the market until they on some of their players. Now, I'd reported on the weekend, I heard that there were basically 3 untouchables. And one of them is Roman Josi, the reigning Norris Trophy winner, who has a no-move clause. One of them is Ryan Ellis, the defenseman, who is hugely important to their team. And the other is Pekka Rinne, the longtime goaltender, who I believe they would like to have retire as a Predator. The other guys there that kind of surprised me was, look, I think it's going to take a lot to get a Philip Forsberg out of there. I think it's going to take a lot to get a Dante Fabro out of there. The only way those guys are going any place is if they get huge offers for them. But I've heard that those are generally not considered untouchable players, and they will at least listen. Although, Mike, that doesn't mean it's a guarantee that they go.
Elliot, we're getting word that Jeff Skinner is going to be a healthy scratch for the Sabres tonight as they take on the Islanders. I mean, that is a big, long contract right there. And the Sabres, it's really interesting because it's been a struggle at the start for Jack Eichel. It's been a struggle for Taylor Hall. Obviously, for Skinner, who has no goals so far, and even on a little bit of a lesser note, Kyle Oposo, who makes $6 million, has no goals. 3 goals for guys that are making $34 million. Can the Sabres dig out of this over time? I mean, it seems like there's a lot of money and not a lot of production.
Well, I mean, that's exactly where it is right now, EJ. There's no way of sugarcoating it. And the one thing I think here is that when they had to make the decision on to extend Skinner, there was a lot of internal debate. I think there were people who supported it. Obviously, it got done. I think there were some people who spoke up big time against it, but ultimately it was decided to be pushed through. At the end of the day, Mike, you played. You can't fool the players. They know who should be in the lineup and who shouldn't. Skinner has struggled. I don't think, they've tried him on the first line. They've demoted him to the fourth line. The one thing I'm kind of wondering here is Skinner has a no move clause. I do wonder if part of this is the Sabres trying to see is he willing to go anywhere else? And number two, can you find a trade partner? But I have wondered if the Sabres are looking at it as a group, this isn't working out here. Is there anywhere else you'll consider going to?
These are all very important topics, but I need to get to something just a little bit more serious than Skinner being scratched, and that is the turtleneck that you rocked over the weekend, Elliot. I mean, this picture made the round, so we just thought we would try it on our guys and see what you make of EJ and Repper trying to rock the turtleneck.
I would say this, no offense, EJ, but you and I are tied for second.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Carolyn Cameron well, Jackie. She was the person who dared me to wear it. We wanted to make sure we don't want a situation where everybody's daring other people to wear things on the air.
Yeah.
Someone dares David Amber to show up as Batman, and he shows up wearing a Batman costume on Saturday. So there was some wrangling that had to get done. But at the end of the day, what I think it's about is watching hockey is supposed to be fun.
Yes.
People had fun with it. And at the end of the day, I'm glad they had fun with it.
A little Alexa Yashin.
Yeah, I was going to bring up Yashin, too.
Nice.
It's bring it back. But, Austin Matthews rocks a turtleneck here and there as well. So it's the turtleneck. Turtleneck's making a comeback, apparently. And I love seeing you guys have fun on Hockey Night, Elliot. So keep up the great work. Always a pleasure chatting with you.
All right, guys. Have yourselves a great night.